Hello, sir.
Hi,
Thanks
Miss.
again for being open for this clinical supervision program that we have set up for you. I want to remind you again and again that this is not a punitive measure by any way, but is actually geared towards, helping you develop your skills and pedagogical strategies. All right?
Okay. Yes, Miss.
Good. So based on our discussion before, right? Remember we highlighted what we are going to do, and we
Yeah.
decided that this is what we are going to actually use in order to um, work with, in order to get the focus on the students. We are looking at student participation, and this is the
Right.
way we are going forward in order to get that developed, right?
Yeah.
Remember we did the video before.
Yeah.
Remember when?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The thing, yeah, share. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a really interesting topic that you taught there today. The children also seem to be very, very interested in it. But what do you think? How do you think it went?
Well, Miss, I found that the students weren't really responding to my questions. I'm not sure what the problem was. I thought I taught the lesson thoroughly. At least I think so. But when I asked the questions, no one was willing to answer. And even in the quiz, the response was poor.
Okay, okay. Um, well, have you ever considered like other strategies that can be used in order to encourage student participation? Maybe I know the jigsaw is a good one. Think, pair, share is another. Have you ever considered that those ideas for your classes?
Well, I actually did hear about the think, pair, share. I'll have to do
Mhm.
some reconnaissance just to remind myself of some of the details. But I would
Mhm.
definitely like to try it in class next time.
Okay, that's nice. And what I could do as well, I'll email you some literature on that so that you could add to the reconnaissance and thinking about it. And we could probably try it next time.
Okay, thanks, Miss. That'll be very helpful.
All right, good, good, very nice.
All right.
Okay. Remember, it takes time, right? But every little bit counts. You wouldn't say?
Yes. Yes, it does. It
Yes,
does.
it does. Yes, it does. So, sir, how would you know that you are when you have met your objectives or whether your objectives are even smart?
Well, Miss, the lesson requires them to identify three functions of the human digestive system. So that's specific. Um, they have to work collaboratively. So I'll be able to measure and see if it's achievable. And it's realistic and time-based because they should be able to complete it within the period.
All right. And I realize here that you have a lot of resources included. Do you have
Yeah.
all of them? I'm seeing the mannequin, the chart. You have also scotch tape. You have also a video and the worksheet. Do you have all those
Yes.
resources?
Yes,
All
I do.
right. What
Yes,
about
I
the
do.
video?
Well, I was able to download it onto my laptop, just in case because I know the Wi-Fi in our school is a little shaky. So I downloaded it onto my laptop just in case.
That is excellent. So you have your backup plan.
Yeah, miss.
Everything is working there. Very nice. So how you plan to, put the use the think pair share in your classroom?
Okay. Well, I intend to let the students know that I'm going to use the technique first of all, as regards
Mm-hmm.
to identifying the three functions of the human digestive system. And then I
Mm-hmm.
will allow the students to think about the answer for 3 minutes. Next, I will pair the students to discuss their answers for 5 minutes. And then afterwards, I will call upon them to share their responses to expand the discussion in the classroom.
Very nice. Very nice. And well, what I want to do next now, I want to show you the observation instrument that I will be using. Now, this is
Okay.
what I will be using while you are teaching, but I'm going to be very quiet with it. Don't worry. I'm not going to
Okay.
disturb you in any manner, right?
Okay.
So if we
Yeah.
look at it, good. So if we look at it now,
Mhm.
it's a Likert scale, and basically it goes from not seeing whether I'm not seeing something to the highest part, which was exemplary. So
Okay.
the 5 questions
Mhm.
I'm looking at, um, I'm looking to see whether you remind the students about the rules and guidelines of the classroom discussion. Remember, they need
Okay.
to know what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. I'm looking also to see whether you describe the think, pair, share strategy to the students so that they will understand the technique that is being used in the class,
Right.
right? Mm-hmm. And remember, these are students and they may not always be working in the same direction, or maybe they may veer off. So, we'll be looking to see whether you visit the different groups and, you guide the students or monitor them so that they will be able to complete the activity properly, right?
Okay. Yes.
And we also will be looking to see whether you ensure time. Sometimes I think I may have done it to you right now as well.
Okay.
Don't leave enough time for you to answer. And that is something that is very, very important because, you need to have that rapport. You need to give them time to really, internalize the information and bring it out back.
Okay.
So, right. So that is one of the things that we're looking at as well. And last but not least, feedback.
Right.
How did they do? They
Important. Yeah.
present. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So in a sense, you will help them to see what are their strengths. You'll help them to see where they need to develop a bit more in. So this is what we will be using here now. All right.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
going back. Good. So I'm going back again to the lesson plan. And I remember we chose March the 17th third period to do this.
Yes. Yes, we did. We did.
Are we still on for that date or you have an
Yeah.
issue with that date?
No, miss, that day is still perfect. Day and the period slot is still perfect.
Good, good, good. So is there anything you want me, anything else you want me to know before I enter the class with you?
No, miss, not that I could think of. I believe we have everything covered.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Well then,
good to go
sir,
there.
yeah, well, I am seriously looking forward to, having this opportunity to work alongside with you, sir. And I thank you so very much for, accommodating me and, working alongside with me. We teach each other. We
Yes,
really
miss.
teach each other. Yes.
And
So
I appreciate you helping me to grow.
thank you so very much, sir. So I guess we'll see each other next time
Yes,
on
miss.
the third period on the 17th. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
All right then,
All
sir.
right.
Have a
Take care,
nice day.
miss. You too.
Bye then.
Bye. Good morning, class. Today, I would like for you all to take a look at this video.
10 minutes later.
At this point of the activity, we are going to approach the lesson using a technique called think, pair, share. And we're going to use this to think about the three functions of the human digestive system. And what I would like you to do first for me is to think about your individual responses for 3 minutes and jot down your thoughts on the worksheet that you were given previously. When you're done, I will pair you all off to discuss your answers. Finally, I will call upon you to share your responses. Your 3 minutes for individual thinking starts now. Right? So, guys, I'm just going to ask you all some questions to see how well you all understand the lesson from today. And I'm also going to collect the sheet at the end of class, right? And in order for you all to leave class, everyone has to tell me one thing that you learned today.
A few moments later.
All right, cool. So seeing that we all understood the functions of the human digestive system, you guys enjoy the rest of your day and continue to be safe.
Well done, sir. Very
Thank you,
well
miss.
thought of lesson.
and your classroom management skills were exemplary.
Thank you, Miss.
I could see you did your research on the Think, Pair, Share strategy.
Yeah.
How do you think the lesson went?
Well, Miss, I must say that my students were much more responsive than in my last session. They seemed to be confident in their answers, and with the support from their peers, those who normally sit silently in class did participate.
What about the class rules for discussion? Do you think the students were, they remember them, they remember to follow them through the whole session?
Yes, after reminding them at the beginning of the class, only once did a student answer out of 10. I'm sure that the next time, though, I use this strategy and I remind them about how it works, that issue will be resolved.
Right? So you believe that the Think, Pair, Share strategy was clearly understood by your class?
I do, because after the initial explanation about how it works and the demonstration was done, they were all able to participate, needing no further prompting.
I noticed that you were walking around the classroom.
Yeah.
Were you able to get to all the groups, and were you able to monitor everybody's progress?
Well, since each person from the peer wrote down their initial ideas, I was able to see that each student was working individually and then they collaborated to put an answer together. Those who were stuck at some point, I was able to give gentle hints so that they were able to complete the assignment.
Okay, nice. Okay, so let's look at your objectives in the session, right? And the objective was that
Mhm.
the students were to identify 3 functions of the human digestive system.
Yes.
Do you think you were able to achieve this objective today? And if you say yes, how do you know?
Well, I would say yes, because every peer was able to identify the functions clearly. No two answers were the same. And despite the fact that some pairs had more detailed answers, each pair was able to share the correct functions. Every student responded, which had never happened before.
Good, good, good. So, in your opinion, do you think the Think, Pair, Share strategy was effectively executed in your class today?
Well, I do, because usually when I do a session, it's the same 2 or 3 students who answer. And that does not allow me to know if the others understand or not. However, after today's session, I was able to confirm that each student understood the assignment, since every student was able to identify the 3 functions of the digestive system. And they seemed very excited to share.
Well, good. All right. So let's discuss feedback, right? We know feedback is important. Do you think that the feedback you gave today was what the students needed?
Yes, well, I was able to provide feedback to most of the class, but then I was running out of time.
Mm.
So I hope that the last 2 groups would have benefited from the previous feedback given.
All right. Okay. Well, sir, you remember that evaluation instrument we discussed the last session,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you remember that it moves from exemplary to basically doing nothing, right?
Yes.
So what I had to do was I had to use that instrument and I had to be guided by what was in it to
Right.
see if, you did what you were supposed to do so that the students could benefit the most,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So I want to show you it,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So you'll look at it and you will realize that, 15 out of 20 ain't bad, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good,
Not
right?
bad. It's not bad.
So let's go through and see why it was 15 out of 20, right?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So we'll look at each criteria. So the first one, you reminded the students about the rules for classroom discussions.
Yes.
They were allowed, they were followed by all of the students except one. And we always have that one student,
Yeah.
right? So that was excellently done. Let's look at the second one. Your
Okay.
explanation of the think, peer, share, right? It was
Right.
very clear, and it's obvious that the students understood, since nobody needed for you to repeat any of the directives to them, right?
Okay.
They were able to follow the steps, they collaborated, and they responded when they were required to, right? So on the second criteria, again, very well done. The third criteria was excellently met as well. I noticed
Thank you.
you walked around the classroom
Yeah.
continuously during the exercise, and you were able to give, a little bit of encouragement to one group, a little hint to another group, and that way, they were all able to complete the assignment.
Yeah.
Good. All right. The fourth one. When it came to the fourth one, while all groups were able to, give the correct answer, it seemed as though, like, the last two
Yeah.
were kind of rushed them a little bit,
Yeah. A little bit.
because,
A little bit. A little bit.
right? So we're gonna have to look at that and see how maybe adjusting the exercise or something like that might give each group enough time to do what they need to do.
Okay.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. And the last one, which is feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's those same two groups that didn't get the chance to finish, right? They also didn't get, the feedback. And it's not fair for them to depend on somebody else's feedback, right?
Yes,
You
miss.
and I both know how important feedback is. It,
Yes.
it clears up any misconceptions that we might have about what we're doing. It makes sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes. So we know how important feedback is. So we're going to have to work on that part of the criteria, right? And
Okay.
that
Yes, miss.
might just be based on the need for better time management,
Okay.
right?
Yes, miss.
And as we on that, um, have you ever came across the jigsaw strategy?
I did actually.
Right.
I did.
So maybe we could look into that for your next session and see
Sure.
if that, would address this little time management issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, miss.
All right. But all in all, it was an excellently executed lesson,
Thank you, miss.
and I want to thank you for doing this for you, for me, and for our students, right?
Thank you, miss. Yes,
Yeah.
miss.
So I can't wait for our next session, and well done again, sir.
Thank you, miss. Thanks for your
Right.
patience. All right.
No problem. See you next time.
See you.